Hey, long time.
I know. How have you been?
Very well. Gosh, that was ages ago I saw you in person.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you here. People always talk about my background. I love what you've got going on in yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My faux Moroccan regal background. Yeah.
Great. Well, this movie, dare say, of course, it is an out of the world experience.
Yeah.
Uh, Europe in space, you're the guy in charge, and you've got things that are happening up there. But then when you look back on Earth, there's stuff going on there where it's like, what do we do? I mean, harrowing experience, I could only imagine.
Yeah, and when I first read the script, it felt like a sort of a sci-fi movie. It's fantastical. It's sort of, clearly pushing the bounds of imagination. And then COVID happened. We realized just how fragile and frail we are as humanity. It's a very different film watching it now than when we shot it, just in terms of how humanity can be brought to a standstill by something hitherto unforeseen. And the truth of the matter is, the way we're treating the planet right now, it is not inconceivable that what happens in the midnight sky is somewhere in our future. So, in some ways, an unexpected cautionary tale.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because again, when watching it, it was just like, okay, this is almost like watching today. Watching the TV, watching the news.
I know.
And for your character, I mean, not only is he up there, but his family, was up there with him.
Right.
So it's kind of like, okay, what decisions do we make?
That was one of the great challenges of doing the Midnight Sky. Was in some ways my character has very relatable challenges to face, and sort of unthinkable challenges to face. Firstly, we're tasked with finding a planet to colonize because our planet is on the verge of extinction. And then, Felicity Jones and I, our character, are having a baby in space. And you're sort of trying to deal with becoming a dad and how that fits into what's going on with humanity. It's challenges like that an actor really relishes getting to play.
Right. And like we said, it's one movie, but it's two stories somewhat. I mean, the thing going on with you guys in space, and then George Clooney on Earth, who's just trying to figure out, where the heck can I go that's safe?
Exactly. And it's the juxtaposition of those two stories that really grabbed me in the script. They are very much connected, but they are very much apart. But they're also these epic settings. George shot his portion in Iceland on a giant icy tundra. We, of course, are in as vast an environment as you can find anywhere in the galaxy. And that's the backdrop for these characters, a handful of characters who are having to deal with insurmountable odds. I do think that is the best version of storytelling, when you can have relatable characters in an extraordinary setting.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And then, even speaking of George Clooney, he was also the director of the film. What was that like with you working with him?
Oh, really amazing. I mean, I've had twice now, I've worked with actors who are also directing, and that was Kenneth Branagh and now George Clooney. And, the thing that is unique to that experience is that you are working with someone who really understands the language of the actor and how to communicate with them in a way that brings out the best in them. And that, of course, is a wonderful way to work. The other thing about George directing is that he, as an actor, knows the environment he likes to have for doing his work well. And so he creates that for his actors. And so we had a really sort of actor-friendly environment.
That's great. David, as always, great pleasure talking to you. Great seeing you.
Thank you.
And all the best to you and yours.
You too. You too. Wonderful to see you again.
All right. Take care. Demian, how are you?
I'm good, Greg. How are you, man?
Doing well. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I have to say, it had to be, if that was really going on, that had to be the most bizarre situation to be in. You're in outer space and things are going on there, and you're thinking, I can't wait to get home. And then you realize that's all screwed up.
Yeah, pretty much like reality now, right?
Yes.
I know I always say that life in films is beautiful, because you can dream and imagine and travel long distances, even going to space. But we never really thought that this would be so timely. Um, we finished shooting the film right before the planet stopped,
Oh,
and for us to be part of such a timely story, it's just a privilege. One, because it's a great film. I love the way it came out. I think it's a beautiful work of art. And second, it's really, really interesting how this tell us what we're doing wrong. And but the great thing about this film, because I don't think it's pessimistic at all or apocalyptic, even though it is,
yeah.
but I think it's very hopeful because it tells you that it's we have the solution in our hands to fix anything.
No, that's for sure. And this movie is also kind of like two different stories going on, but they're both connected. Obviously, the thing with you guys in outer space, and then George Clooney's character on Earth, just trying to figure out, where am I going to go? And he's got to fight against the snow as well as other little demons. What was that
Yeah,
like?
totally. I think that makes the film very, very powerful because the characters constantly have many different obstacles they have to we have to overcome in order to survive. And I think the main factor in this story is about connection. And how important is that? How crucial connecting with among us would be to for everyone's well-being, for the future of humankind, maybe in another planet, but still, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what's happening right now. It's really interesting how difficult has been to convince everybody that we're in the same ship, that this is not about you. I don't care if you don't feel comfortable wearing a mask.
Right.
This is not about you only, this is about everybody else and your own family and your own folks and your own, grandparents. So it's a very interesting situation because it tells us a lot of us as humans, how little we care sometimes for others.
Right.
This is our chance to step out of the bubble, really make a change. And I think that's a main factor in the film. We talk about that all the time.
Right. And you are absolutely right. You want to say, you tell that to people all the time. It's like, we're all in this together. I mean, we're all humans. And then it takes some catastrophe, all of a sudden to make people think, okay, you know,
Yeah, but it makes you wonder because I mean, this is a really special situation, never before lived in on our on this planet, and still it seems like what do we need, a meteor? You know,
yeah.
do we need to be hit like the dinosaurs so we
Mhm.
can all really understand that this is the only home we have? So it's really interesting, in many different ways.
That's for sure. Damien, enjoyed the movie very much. Enjoyed this conversation
Thank
a
you.
whole lot.
Me too, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You take care and happy holidays to you and yours.
Thanks a lot. You as well. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Bye bye.